Hi, I'm Reina Jones, Assistant Vice President of Community Development with Delta Community Credit Union. And welcome to today's Executive Insights, where we will be talking about consumer lending. And this is brought to you by Delta Community's Financial Education Center. So I'm joined here today with Vice President of Residential Lending, Kathy Weber, and Chief Lending Officer of Delta Community, Bob Walsh. Welcome, and thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Reina.
Oh, you're welcome. All right, so Bob, we're going to jump right in and start with you.
Okay.
Now, the last couple of years, we have seen some unique financial challenges for our members and just consumers in general. And so there have been rapid increases in housing and car prices. We've even experienced some of the highest inflation levels in decades. And now the Federal Reserve Bank is even talking about raising interest rates even to come. So when we talk about our members and what they can expect, how is this lending environment going to affect them over the next 12 to 24 months?
You know, I think when you look at the current environment, and particularly in the Atlanta market, and probably in the macro economy overall, you can expect for lending to remain very competitive. Financial institutions, almost all of them have significant liquidity. That's money to lend. So the environment's going to remain competitive for that reason.
Okay.
And then consumers through the pandemic, in most cases, got into a very good financial condition. They were able to pay down debt, create savings, so they become more attractive borrowers for financial institutions. And I think you'll continue to see the market support lending in terms of automobiles, houses, other purchasing decisions that consumers will make, and you'll see financial institutions be very aggressive to gain that business. And in terms of interest rates and inflation, I think we'll continue to see both move upward. The Fed will continue to raise interest rates to try to tamp down inflation, and we can expect to see those rate increases at least through the end of the year, if not for longer, as they try to get a handle on inflation.
Okay, got it. Well, I'm glad our members have Delta Community, because I know that you will keep us abreast of all of those changes as our members think about the products and loans that they have. And so, Kathy, I would like to shift to you and talk about this housing market.
Yes, so housing prices have been increasing, interest rates have been increasing, and both of these affect affordability. So I think people searching for a home may need to be more strategic and creative. They may need to expand their search geographically or lower their expectations or requirements for a home. It's very important in today's market to know what you can afford. So it's a great idea to contact one of our home loan specialists to learn more about the pre-qualification or pre-approval process. And then Delta Community offers great financial education. You can contact Delta Community or look at the website for information on the webinars and seminars related to financial budgeting and home buying and things such as that.
Yeah, thank you for the plug, because I oversee the Financial Education Center, and it is a valuable resource. And so, Kathy, do you see this trend continuing with these home prices? Well,
housing prices and interest rates have been going up, and I think that the prices may start to stabilize over the next year or two as interest rates have risen, but also as the inventory shortage hopefully gets better. There have been really a lack of supply of new homes, and that's because in years prior to the pandemic, the builders didn't build that many homes, and then during the pandemic there were labor shortages and supply chain issues, and builders are really just trying to catch up. And it's predicted that in the next 2 to 3 years, builders will have enough newly constructed homes to meet the needs of the housing market. And then with interest rates increasing, they've been increasing sharply, but from historical record lows. Long-term mortgage rates are still very good in the big picture historically. But if someone is interested in buying a home that they don't plan to live in long term, they may be interested in an adjustable rate mortgage, which is also called an ARM. Okay. And those adjustable rate mortgages offer fixed initial interest rates of 5, 7, or 10 years, and then they adjust every year thereafter. But the payment is based on a 30-year term and amortization. So when you compare that to a 30-year loan, you're getting a lower interest rate, a lower payment with that same 30-year term. And Delta Community offers very competitive fixed and adjustable rate mortgage products.
Oh, wonderful. That's good to know that our members have options. And Kathy, I'll ask you another question, because you talked about the builders and the supply chain, and I remember pulling some equity out of my home to do renovations, and it took forever because of that shortage. But many of our homeowners do have access to more equity because of those increases in home values. And so do you feel that now is a good time to use that equity to assist with other financial needs?
Definitely. Okay. Most homeowners have more equity now than they've ever had before. And so they also probably have a really low interest rate on their first mortgage. So it may make the most sense for them to look for a home equity product to do things such as renovate, as you said, pay school tuition, or to have cash on hand in case of emergencies. And Delta Community offers fixed rate home equity loans, which are fixed interest rate, fixed payment, fixed term. And then home equity lines of credit, which are also called HELOCs. Those home equity lines of credit are adjustable rate, and they're revolving lines of credit. Here at Delta Community, we don't charge any annual fees on those lines of credit, no required minimum draw, and we don't have any prepayment penalties on any of the loans that we offer.
Oh, see, that's excellent to know that. Bob, I'll shift over to you. So according to a survey by the Federal Reserve Bank in Atlanta, credit card usage, that's one of our products. It's increased every year since 2019. So what should people consider when shopping for a new credit card?
Well, I think an important aspect of any credit card, what are the costs? What's the interest rate? What are the fees? So that the consumer understands exactly what those costs are going to be. Is there the ability to potentially move balances from a higher rate card to a new lower rate card? Those kinds of things. And then most consumers will also consider the rewards program that goes with a card. You know, if you're more interested in maybe carrying a balance occasionally, you'd likely be better off focusing on that interest rate. But if you're really using the card for convenience, just with typical transactions, you may be interested more in the rewards program. We offer 2 cards at Delta Community to meet those needs. Our Visa Platinum card for those that are a little more focused on interest rate, and our Visa Signature card for those that are more interested in a robust rewards program.
Wonderful. I love those rewards programs. They're always good to have. But even with the credit products, we also offer through our Financial Education Center courses around credit, using credit and spending credit wisely. So thank you for that. And so, Bob, I'll ask you another question. What makes Delta Community the best place to consider a loan?
Well, you know, I certainly think it starts with our people. The service that they provide when you walk through those doors, they're going to have your best interest at heart, and they're going to do their best to make sure that you get what you need in a timely fashion, and then it's done right. And then we have focused on making sure that we have financial products to meet the needs of our members. So when you pair great products with the great service, the great people that you're going to deal with, I think that's what makes Delta Community the best.
And Kathy, I'll ask you that same question. What makes Delta Community the best place to consider a home loan?
Well, I think I agree with Bob in that our goal is to provide great service, and we really care about the members, and we want you to make informed decisions for yourself. So we want to be there to help you along the way and get that loan for you as soon as possible.
Wonderful. So I think that that's always the best, because at Delta Community, we really care about our members and walking them through that entire process. And so I have the pleasure of asking this last question, which is my favorite. It is, what is the best piece of financial advice that you've ever received or learned? And so, Bob, I'll start with you.
Okay. I think I would say to spend wisely and know where your money goes. Spending wisely is really about making good decisions, showing self-control, and having a good idea of the impact that spending decisions have on your overall financial condition.
Yes.
And then knowing where your money goes is really about budgeting, and that's having a plan for your spending and your spending habits, and that'll help with the self-control as well.
Absolutely. And Kathy, what about you?
Well, I would say if you take Bob's advice, you know where your money goes, and you can work to invest in that 401k or retirement plan as soon as possible. Should budget for that. And also buy a home to build equity as soon as it makes sense for your personal situation. And you have to spend wisely and budget in order to accomplish those two things.
I absolutely agree. So you heard it here: budgeting, spend wisely, invest. And so I want to thank our guests today, Kathy Weber and Bob Walsh, for joining us for Executive Insights. And so for more information about any of our products and services here at Delta Community, you can visit us online at deltacommunitycu.com. And to join a workshop through our Financial Education Center, please visit us online at deltacommunitycu.com/financial education. Bob and Kathy, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.